What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Ross the Boss coming at you with an all-new Let's Play Europa Universalis 4. We are slowly making our way down into the southern Greek territories of Byzantium and Athens, and as soon as we can basically demolish Byzantium, we can do everything in our power to shift our focus eastward towards the Coptic provinces. Mobs target the unbelievers. From across the realm, we have received reports of spontaneous acts of violence by Muslim mobs against unbelievers. There have already been several lynchings and more than one buildings have been put to the torch. The mobs are demanding the expulsion of all infidels, while the daimis have called for increased protection of themselves and their property by the state. Intervene. Law and order must be restored. I can either have piety or lose piety. Now, I never actually did go into detail about what that is. If we look at our religious map mode, you can see here that we can have a lack of piety or a being pious. So if we were all the way, now we have 55% giving us a mixture of both. We could go from negative 100 all the way to positive 100, 0 of course being at the middle. We could currently, if we were pious, we would gain more missionary strength, that would be very, very nice indeed, because it would be very important to move all of these Orthodox countries to Sunni. But in fact, I'm going to be playing a different strategy. Instead, I'm going to become a lack of piety, giving us a lot of different bonuses, giving us more tax modifiers, because that money does not go to the church, giving us more manpower modifiers, because we can now recruit into other, religions as well, giving us, not just Muslim infantry. Also giving us a variety of technological improvements, which is primarily the reason why I'm going towards a lack of piety. So I believe law and order must be restored. 55 should change very shortly into 30. We are still sieging down a variety of provinces. I'm going to take these 13,000 and make our way towards the highlands here. I get this is a very uphill battle, giving us a -1 terrain penalty, but we do have far superior generals, and I am expecting the best, and it looks like they didn't have any survivors. We have been very lucky with these past few wars. I also want to go ahead and declare war on Albania. It looks like they are part of Hungary, but I don't think I'm going to declare war on Albania just yet, primarily because I don't want to get into a war with Hungary, which means if I don't declare war on Albania, Venice will most likely gobble them up. After I, finish up my wars here with Byzantium and Athens, I'll go ahead and I'll take a look at my overextension modifier. Currently we have -25, -33. I want to watch how far up these go before I do anything too crazy. National Epic. Our subjects have taken to telling tales and legends about an old ruler. The legends say that in Ottoman's darkest hour, he will return to our nation and deliver it from evil. Regardless of the truth in that statement, we could use this in our propaganda. So we could either, yes, I love a good story, or no, our people should focus on the here and now. If I somehow create a national epic for our ruler, we're going to lose 10 administrative power, but we will gain some yearly prestige for, I believe, the next 20 years, which I absolutely am going to take. Prestige has a variety of basic improvements. You can see here that is giving us more trade power, better morale, less mercenary cost, yearly legitimacy. Really the only thing that we want is the institution embracement cost, aggressive expansion, and the morale of armies, at least for right now. As time goes on, we're going to get better and better. Prestige. Let us go ahead and create a brand new blockade on these provinces. I believe in the next 1 or 2 months, both of these provinces should fall. We have 8.7 unrest here in our new province of Buzau. Once we go ahead and create our core, I want to go ahead and actually make you into a state. We have won the siege of Moria. These 13,000 troops can move this direction. Very soon, we might want to go ahead and repair our fleets. They have been severely damaged. And it looks like we're actually losing money right now, mainly because our forts are costing us so much. And we do have quite a bit of state maintenance, and we're rooting out corruption, primarily because we are fabricating claims. Or better yet, I should say, we are establishing cores, and we are going to be gaining corruption whenever we have overextension and we do not have cores. So obviously, establishing cores on these 3 provinces, we haven't even started. So we're going to have some corruption here for the time being as we switch over these governments from Byzantium and Morea and establishing governments of our own. It's primarily what we're doing, spending our administrative power and securing more territory. Okay, we are actually very close to having positive 100 relations with the Timurids. And because we are historical rivals, it doesn't look like we're actually going to be allies, which is very sad news indeed. It looks like Quaraquanalu has decided to declare war on Georgia. More than likely, they are going to take over most of the provinces in Georgia, and it's going to be up to us to try to revoke those provinces as quickly as we can. Let us go ahead and unlock our peace offer. Going to decline you for now. Now that we actually own Athens, we have 100%, and we won't get a separate piece for anything we don't like. Constantinople, Athens, Achaia, and Morea. 360 administrative power, 86 aggressive overextension, and then 52% aggressive expansion and then overextension. I also want to go ahead, you know what, I was going to take war reparations, but they don't exist anymore, so that doesn't necessarily matter. This, of course, Byzantium doesn't exist, but Serbia and Wallachia do. So I'm going to do everything in my power to basically take all of these provinces, and just like that, we now own a lot more development. So from one war, we gained 13 development, 23 development, bringing us up to 36, 11 bringing us up to 47, now all the way up to 56, and then 65 development from one war. We don't want this castle because there's no reason to protect it. Let's set up all of our governments whenever we can, and it looks like we now lack administrative power as well. So we might be behind for the time being. We certainly don't need this castle here. We certainly don't need this castle here. And my entire goal now is I need to set up a new rival to secure my power projection as much as possible. I think I'm going to set up a... most likely on the Mamluks. Definitely not against Poland. Definitely not against... well, I'm not sure. If I try to secure an alliance with Crimea, it might be a good idea. Looks like the Livonian Order is at war with Poland. Most likely Poland has declared war on the Livonian Order, or the Teutonic Order. And the Livonian Order came to assist. Alright, well, I believe we are going to get the Mamluks as our rival. And just like that, we have completed our mission, giving us yearly legitimacy. But unfortunately, we are already at positive 100, meaning we are technically currently at our maximum. I don't think we want this castle here for the time being. And very soon, we would like to change our capital to Constantinople, primarily because there's 23 development there, and Edirne is only 16 development, and it is currently our capital. So my entire goal, looking at our new mission selection, we are going to make Constantinople the capital. We are going to gain 1 stability, and Constantinople is going to gain some base tax, base production, and a lot of manpower. The government rank of the Ottomans will change to the Empire. Very nice to see indeed. And I am losing money currently, so what I'm going to do is bring my army maintenance down just a little bit. Now, I understand that the morale will tank for the time being, but the amount of army maintenance that we're spending, you know, we went from losing money to now positive 7.25 ducats every month. I also want to go ahead and set up my cores whenever I can. Is there anything else? I need a new mission. Convert Atina to Sunni? Absolutely not. Vassalize Dulkadir. I believe this is over here. Don't think I'm going to do that either. conquer Levant, which I believe are all of these provinces. I think what I'm going to do is most likely, I don't want to vassalize Dolkadir. I would like to just take them over. But before I do anything, I don't want any of these. I guess we're going to convert Atina to Sunni and then cancel this mission, and then that way we'll get a brand new mission in exactly 1 year from today. All of my new soldiers are going to make their way over. I do need to be aware of the possible uprisings, not only in Constantinople, but of course in Moria and Byzantium. And preferably, I would like to take over Aquanalu as quickly as I can. And then, of course, gearing up for a major war against Quaraquanalu whenever we can. Okay. Recall our diplomat. Let's send somebody over to Poland. I don't think they're going to like me very much, but if we can improve relations, we might be able to secure a nice alliance. I don't think Lithuania is currently under Poland in a personal union, so even though Lithuania is far more superior in land, production, and taxation, Poland here actually leads the personal union. We also are going to change Atina to our actual government. Right here, Athens, 7.4 unrest. The overextension as we begin to core these provinces will drop, and the war exhaustion will drop as well. Venetia claims on Moria. An ambassador from Venice has just informed us that they have laid claims to the Moria Peninsula. This is clearly not acceptable, and they must be punished. They have insulted us. I don't want to be going to war with Venice anytime soon, primarily because if we look at our overextension map mode, there are a lot of countries that, if they're not over 50, which is the threshold, but they are very close to being over negative 50, and every single country that is over negative 50 will join in on a coalition against me, and basically be creating one big massive army and one big military to basically take me out and cut me into a variety of smaller pieces. It is basically a penalty for growing too big and too fast. It looks like Albania has still not been annexed by Venice. Improvements in production technology. There are reports of farmers and miners being more productive than local bailiffs expect them to be. We should investigate if there is something that the entire nations of the Ottomans can benefit from. We can spare no expense gaining some permanent administrative power, but also some permanent inflation, or we could use caution and gain administrative power. I believe in reckless administration. Let's go ahead and gain the administrative power and spend all of that administrative power on Balabadra. Because I'm playing as the Ottomans, most of these countries are called something else, and I believe I can change this in the option menu. You can see here that Alexandria is called Iskandaria, and Cairo is called Caira. You know, stuff like that. Cyprus is still Cyprus. Crete is still Crete. Constantinople is Constantini. Excuse my pronunciation, but, you know, after I end this episode, I'm going to Google how to do that. And I believe if I press escape and then go into my options menu, I could easily change this. Okay, some of your provinces lack cores. Finally setting up our last core. And all of our further administrative power will most likely be going to improve our administrative technology, and then hopefully unlocking our first national idea group by the time, you know, this rolls around. And I would really like to get humanism ideas, primarily because we would get less unrest in all of our provinces, more years of separatism, and essentially why I want that is these rebels won't necessarily spawn, which means I could reduce my army maintenance and not necessarily worry about too many rebels spawning. Which in turn means less rebels means more manpower, less rebels means I could keep my army maintenance lower, and my treasury can continue to grow as much as possible. I do want to go ahead and spend some of this hard-earned income, but I don't think we're going to be spending it just yet. let us go ahead and start to fabricate. It looks like we already have a claim on this province. I could go ahead and do a reconquest war on Aquanalu. Let me pause the game here, make my army maintenance go all the way to the top, and I don't see any real rebels arising in the time being. We have the ability to select a new mission. Now we have Protect Against the Mamluks. We could get an army of 33 units, giving us land maintenance modifier for the next 10 years and recruitment time reduction. Currently we have 27 units. If we get 6 more, we could easily get this mission complete, so we obviously would like to do that. Let's unlock 6 units. They are going to be very, very cheap. And primarily going to be unlocking a new mission. We'll have them all meet up in Constantinople. And primarily these units are going to try to stomp out a lot of these rebels if it's possible. You can have up to 20 units remove about 5 national unrest in some of these provinces. So any more than 5 unrest, it'll have to do more than just military intervention. You'll probably have to change some of the laws. Influenza. We're going to quarantine the port and let them die. I don't want influenza to spread to other provinces. We can invest in new technology. I could unlock the Pike Square, but I'm going to wait until we have a negative 5% cost reduction. And we don't necessarily need better military tactics or land morale just yet. We obviously have a lot of manpower, and we obviously have a very big treasury. So, we don't necessarily need to use all of that just yet. Our mission should be complete in the next 19 days. Let's bring our units over, prepare for war. You can see here that there is a very small sliver that we still don't have full maximum morale, primarily because we just changed our army maintenance all the way to the top. We now have the ability to make you into a state, removing the autonomy penalty from 75% all the way. It looks like cost us 12 ducats, and we're only going to gain 5 ducats. This is a losing deal, but I think I'm going to do it anyway. The autonomy has obviously gone down. This will tick down to 0 over time, but if we look at our states and territories map mode, all of Wallachia is technically now a state. So if I take these over, all we need to do is core it, and it is already a state, which is very nice indeed. And it now is going to take 97 administrative power to change Buzhou here into an actual state. Unlocking land maintenance modifier, negative 10%. That's going to save us quite a bit of income. I believe that saved us 0.8 ducats every single month, which is nice to see. And on the 1st of next month, we are going to declare our war against Aquanalu. Reconquest Casus Belli. Let's give you a general, primarily because we want this siege pip. That will improve the amount of effectiveness against a variety of these provinces. Let us go ahead and make you into an actual state, further reducing the autonomy. Going from 50% down, now it will begin ticking all the way down to 0. If we did grant you an actual estate, it would be ticking down to 25%. Looks like we have some Armenian separatists. It might be a good idea to begin fabricating claims or building up our spy network on Aquanalu, or Aquanalu, primarily because we would like to set up some claims which would make conquering their territory much, much easier here in the next couple months. Also, let's take a look at what the aggressive expansion would be. Wallachia and Serbia would still be very upset, but because we are now taking over Sunni territories and not Christian territories, the Christians don't necessarily mind all that much, which is nice to see as well. Looking at our missions available, we could conquer Kaffa, which is... Where is Kaffa? Let's find out where Kaffa is. Ooh, all the way up here. I don't think we're going to be making our way across the Black Sea anytime soon. I don't think we want Levant or vassalized Dolkadir. So, I think what we're going to do is conquer Kaffa, cancel mission. Enclave of Infidels. There is a small enclave of infidels living right amongst us in Constantinople who stubbornly refuse all attempts to convert them to the true faith. They support themselves as merchants and peddlers and have thus far been a boon to the community. But now several local religious leaders have called for their swift expulsion from the city and to confiscate their assets. Okay, we would lose money but gain piety, or we could leave them be, gain income, and lose piety. I think we definitely want to remove piety as much as possible, get to negative 100 piety, primarily because the technology cost would be a lot less. And it looks like we are going to go ahead, pause the game, and put a cut in here. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you all have an awesome day, and I will see you in our next adventure.